Hello, this is Unit 4 Free Response Question Set B, question number 2. No calculator is allowed on this question. The question actually starts right here. A particle moves along the x-axis so that its position at time t greater than 0 is given by this equation. Now, AP tends to use x of t as position, whereas in our class we used s of t as position. Same concept, different letters. Okay, part A showed that velocity of the particle is given by this. So velocity is the derivative of position. So x of t, and let's just crank through that derivative. So right here we have a quotient rule going on. So bottom 3t squared plus 8 times derivative of the top 2t minus top t squared minus 9 times the derivative of the bottom 6t all over the bottom squared 3t squared plus 8 quantity squared. And they do want us to make it look like this, so we are going to have to simplify here. Distribute that 2t through is going to give me 6t cubed plus 16t minus a 6t cubed. Let's see, and then it's going to be plus a 54t, because that minus sign goes to here as well, all over 3t squared plus an 8 squared. Cleaning this up, oh, how sweet is that, that the 6t cubes subtract out. We have 16 and 54, 70t over 3t squared plus 8 quantity squared. Okay, that's it. Show that that's the velocity. So where do your points come from? There are 2 points here on A, 3 on B, 3 on C, and 1 at D. So on this one, you're going to get plus 1 for the quotient rule, and plus 1 for the algebraic work to end at that answer. Okay. Part B. I put the problem aside and I need the problem. Part B says, is the particle moving toward the origin or away from the origin at time 2, and give a reason for your answer. So we need to figure out where is it at time 2, and then what direction is it moving at time 2. So where it is at time 2 will be x of 2. So, excuse me, we'll just substitute in. That's going to give us 2 squared minus 9 over 3 times 2 squared plus an 8. 4 minus 9 is negative 5 over 12 plus 8, 20. That's negative 1/4. So that's where the particle is. It is left of the origin at time 2. Now if we want to figure out what direction it's moving, that's x prime of 2. And substitute into that velocity. And we're going to have 70 times 2 over 3 times 2 squared plus an 8 squared, which gives me 140 over, this is 20 squared, 140 over 400, which is 14 over 40, or 7 over 20. Okay. Now, if you can't do that arithmetic in your head, one, on the AP test you'll have a calculator that you can use, because they're not restricting use of a calculator. But all you really need to know about this is that it's positive, because that tells you that the particle is moving to the right. So if we put all of this together and write it out, at time equals 2, the particle is left of the origin and has a positive velocity, so it is moving to the right. Therefore, the particle is moving toward the origin. Now, make sure that you answer the question that's been asked. And they asked you, is the particle moving toward the origin or away from the origin? So make sure you answer that question. All right, points values for this one, there were 3 points. You get 1 point for x of 2. You will get 1 point for x prime of 2, and 1 point for this explanation. Okay. Part C says the acceleration of the particle is given by a of t. Write an expression for a of t and find the value of a of 2. So we need to find acceleration. I'm going to jot down my velocity equation here so I have it in front of me. It was 70t over 3t squared plus 8 squared. And we want acceleration, which is v prime. So, big quotient rule here. Bottom, 3t squared plus 8 squared times the derivative of the top, 70, minus the top, 70t, times derivative of the bottom, which is a chain rule, 2 times the 3t squared plus 8 to the first times derivative of the inside, which would be a 6t. And then the bottom's going to be 3t squared plus 8 squared squared. Okay, let's clean this up. 70, 3t squared plus 8 squared minus, okay, 6 times 2 is 12, times 7 is 84, 0, so 840 t squared, and then a 3t squared plus 8 to the first, and on the bottom we have a 3t squared plus 8 to the fourth. All right, I am going to divide out a 3t squared plus 8 from all 3 places just to clean this up a bit. You do not have to do that. I just always simplify. Okay, now there's my derivative. There's acceleration, but we want to find the, oh shoot. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to continue it on another video.